Ready to find your flow? AFSA's got you covered.
That's right. The hands-on training lab in Richardson, Texas is where you trade PowerPoints for pipe wrenches. Real tools, real systems, and real experience you can actually use.
And if you're ready to test your skills, check out the hands-on NFPA 25 workshops, where you'll inspect, test, and maintain live sprinkler systems and fire pumps. No simulations, no fluff, just pressure, flow, and know-how.
It's the perfect way to get under pressure without cracking under it.
So get fired up and register today at firesprinkler.org. Spots fill faster than a charged branch line.
AFSA, where you don't just learn the code, you live it. Welcome to the K Factor podcast, where we turn up the heat on all things fire protection. Brought to you by the American Fire Sprinkler Association, this podcast sparks conversations about the latest technology, trends, and tools shaping the industry. Join the AFSA tech team as we fan the flames of innovation in fire safety.
Welcome to another episode of the K Factor podcast. This is Josh with Nate. Eric is not with us today, but we do have an exciting guest, Jennifer Walker, sprinkler designer for American Fire from California. Welcome.
Hello.
Thanks for talking with us.
Not a problem.
So we've got to talk a little bit in design school, and it's really interesting because you're a newer designer.
I'm brand new.
Brand new. So what brought you to our industry, fire sprinkler design or fire sprinklers in general?
Well, I had the opportunity to learn design because I was part of a beginning company, and I looked it up, and it says that sprinkler fitter designers make like $150,000 a year.
Oh yeah,
is that true?
I don't know what you're reading, because if they are,
true.
I need to move there and start designing. No, it's good money.
Oh, yeah.
It is. It depends on where you're at and how much work's going on. But yeah, there's good opportunity for money.
Well, I've been in my present career for 20 plus years, and I'm not cracking 100.
Yeah.
So
And
I'm ready to try something new that uses my skills in a different way.
Yeah. So what made you jump from your previous career to this one?
I get bored.
New? Yeah. Just something different, change it up. And yeah. So did you know much about the fire sprinkler industry before you got into this design?
Well, I'm married to a fire sprinkler.
Just a sprinkler?
Installer.
Wow, your husband's a sprinkler. This is going to be an entertaining podcast.
So I've been rolling my eyes and kind of listening for about 15 years now. Yeah. And then over the last 6 months, I decided to start listening, and I realized that if I could do education and I could do law, then this couldn't be that hard, right?
For sure. For sure. Have you seen any similarities between the education and law? And
well, I was a math teacher.
Okay.
So the hydraulic calculations that come along with doing fire sprinkler design were right up my alley.
What was your first impression of the job or designing in general?
Well, all the construction plans, because my husband started bidding jobs, and I was the one pulling up the plans online, and I couldn't read them.
It's an interesting skill set. I think when I first started too, it's like, it can't be that bad. And then you start seeing the different layouts for different people's personalities and how how did you learn them? Did you just...
Well, I learned everything in the design school this week.
Okay. So that was your first kind of formal...
Mm-hmm. I've been limping along for about 4 months, reading the designs and kind of figuring them out, but feeling really frustrated. And then I decided that I would do some furthering education to understand it a little bit better. And here I am at the AFSA design school. So
what do you think your next steps are? Is to go, maybe are you going to look at some more designs or some plans?
Well, actually what I was planning on doing is going home and pulling up every design I could, and then planning sprinklers on all of them.
Yeah.
The problem is that, I don't know if I'm right or wrong when I do it.
That's what we got the NFPA 13 to reference. And
that book is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first time I looked at that book, I thought it was really kind of stupid. The way that it was arranged, I did not understand it at all. And now I know, that the different chapters cover different things, and you have to understand the codes. And like, just because you find one thing in one little code doesn't mean you don't have to read 20 codes above it and 20 codes below it.
Stay in the whole section.
Mm-hmm.
I'll open your eyes, though, to it doesn't matter how long you're in the industry. Sometimes we all have a moment in our day where we look at NFP 13. We're like, that's not nice. I gotta watch. That's not.
Well, it's so detailed and involved. It's really incredible. The thing that came clear to me over the past year of looking at it was that if men can do construction like this and look at these plans, women at home, they should be doing the dishwasher. The men should. They can do it. Yeah. They actually can do it. The
men can do the dishwasher.
And they can put a trash liner
let's stop
in
the
the
episode.
trash
No,
can.
just kidding. Well, my wife didn't know. I run the dishwasher. She does here and there. She's a nurse, so she's not in our industry. Every once in a while, we'll catch one that she's a little interested in. I do run the dishwasher as much as I can.
Well, running the dishwasher is easy. You just push a button.
The hard part for men is to put the stuff away.
Correct.
I do put the stuff away.
That's good.
Nate's giving me a side eye. You can't tell me that you haven't walked past a dishwasher that says clean to go do something that was a higher priority.
I plead the fifth.
Okay. So don't try to give me that look. So with your husband as a fitter, and as you're starting to learn more about this, have there been a lot of discussions at home, or has he helped you to get some of that technical knowledge?
Well, part of the problem with starting the company is that my husband's an installer, but he wasn't a designer.
Right.
And he really he knew how much went into designing and didn't feel like he was qualified to design. Whereas I looked at it like, oh, it's a rectangle. All I have to do is put some dots in an organized fashion on this rectangle and good to go.
Right.
You know, multiply it by what, an hour and a half or 2 hours, and you got the time for the job, and then put a price on the hour, and easy.
The money will be rolling in.
Exactly. Exactly. So actually we've done some bids and we've won most of the bids that we got, but awesome. I think it's because we underpriced ourselves.
Okay. And now you look back and what's going to be involved in.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. So are you planning to do some of this in a CAD software, or do you do it by hand?
Well, I'm going to do it by hand at first to learn. And I do have a designer that's going to work with me and help me understand it a little bit better. Eventually, I think that I would do it in some sort of design, but I know that like AutoSprink is very expensive.
And some of the design softwares, and especially on a new startup, right? That's a hard, and that I think your difficult path from here is figuring out what size job you can handle by hand.
Right. Well, I can see that like my skill right now would be to look at a preliminary and do just a rough SketchUp.
Right.
But the other day I was at a designer's house and he pulled out a plan that was bigger than the plan that we did in the design school. And I was way overwhelmed. I mean, before that, I kind of had some false confidence, but looking at his design, I was like, I don't think I could do that. At least not yet.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll struggle through your first couple of designs.
Yeah, I think I can
with
learn,
the designer
though.
too. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it doesn't seem like it's undoable.
Yeah. Well, look how many buildings have sprinklers.
Look at how many buildings there are.
There's a lot of buildings as well.
Yeah.
So what were the first bids that have come in? What kind of structures are you
Well, we've
seeing?
Mostly done houses so far. It's
some residential work.
Yeah, I'm still working on how do you find places to bid on.
That's an interesting. That's so I've never designed. And I was talking to somebody in one of the classes, and their state and their local city has a website, and they just populate. And he was telling me just how overwhelming that is, even as he's with an organization, because it just dumps a bunch of different bid proposals. Or
by city?
It was for a specific city. right? So I think it's so location based, but I'm not sure where to even look and start that. So that's an interesting perspective I haven't thought about literally until today.
And one of the things about it is everybody's really secretive.
Yeah,
they don't want to share who they're working with or their prices or how they're getting their bids done or anything.
Yeah. That's kind of in fire protection too. I've noticed that it's tight niche and typically we're looking out for each other, but we're still competing. And I want to be careful on what I say. We're all in it together and we all have to bid for the projects. And right now there's so much construction going on that I'm not sure that old school mentality fits the mold.
Yeah. Well, you need to have lots of jobs to get big and everybody wants to get big and you don't get big by sharing your information so that other people can use it and take your jobs.
I get that, but I think, some of these companies are still have a backlog of a long time. So that it's a hard balance. I guess you don't want to give away your secrets, but how do we learn if we're coming up? And competition's a good thing. Competition's not always a bad thing.
Well, I know how to learn.
Yeah.
You go to AFSA, right?
Oh, that's true.
Come take some classes. It's really great. I actually got learned enough so that I can go take the NICET 1 now.
Yeah. I'm excited to see. And that's so in the California, you also got to figure out what about licensing?
What kind of licensing?
You're a new designer. What have you started to even dive into what you need to do with a new company, right? Because I think this is kind of double faceted, not just a new designer, but new startup company.
Well, we got the Contractor State Licensing Board license.
Okay.
And then there was the matter of getting the insurance.
Right.
And insurance was expensive. And then there was getting truck and tools. That's expensive. And now, as far as designing, I don't really, I'm learning along the way.
Right.
I'm learning every day. I learn something new because I basically started from a position of knowing nothing.
Right. So, but you're ready for NICET 1.
I hope so.
I think
I barely passed the test today.
Oh, I think you're good for NICET 1.
Mm-hmm.
So you have somebody that you know is a designer that's helping you out?
Yes.
What's that process looked like, or how'd you find this person?
Well, we just started and we've been looking for designer estimators along this journey and finally found somebody who was really good. And what actually came about was me and his wife get along.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some of the best relationships come out of that.
So anyways, we just developed that relationship as friends and now he's willing to help me because we're going to work together in business as well.
Awesome. That'll be fun. So if we have new designers listening or people who are interested in maybe getting into it, what's been a small win for you that other people might go unnoticed?
I thought the hydraulic calculations were going to be really hard because I've seen pages of them from our current designer and I did not understand them at all. But then when we did those exercises, it wasn't really that hard. It's just pattern recognition and doing the same thing over and over and understanding the little parts. And, it's really interesting that it seems like such a big subject. Sprinkler fitting seems like such a big subject, but it's really just small with a lot of little details.
Yeah. Lots of details. And then the local requirements sometimes throw a wrench in it, but just keeping it organized.
Well, that's interesting too, is getting permitting through different cities.
Right.
Every city has a different process. The best thing is be really nice to the city people.
Yeah.
And you have to read what they say on their websites, try to follow it to the best of your ability, but it'll always end up with a phone call.
Right.
Because you'll send, like the other day I sent a permit to the building department and I was supposed to send it to the fire department. So that was interesting.
And they also, it seems like overall communication through email has been the way, but to your point, building the rapport with people you're going to work for regularly, just with a phone call.
Right. Well, email is great for documenting things, and everybody says they want emails, but when you're a city agent, you get 150 emails a day. It's really easy for something to slip through the cracks. So I find that the personal touch really helps.
Right. So what are you looking for if we see you 5 years from now?
5 years from now?
Yep.
I would like to actually know how to use the kind of computer applications that you need to be able to do designs from scratch. That'd be really interesting. I'd like to be able to do job walks and be able to recreate a current plan that's in existence. And then, because, sometimes we go do these job walks and they don't have the current plan on paper.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
So you have to create it on paper so that then you can figure out how you're going to change it. And I don't know how to do any of that. So I would just like to be really good at being design in 5 years, doing design. I'd like to be able to estimate really accurately. I don't want to put the fire stuff in, though.
You don't want to install?
No.
Which I've had this in the back of my head a little bit, but you're married to a fitter.
Uh-huh.
He's been doing it for a while.
He can do all that work.
Yeah.
Yeah, he likes that part of it.
And you're his spouse and a designer. And I'm sure you've heard stories from him about trying to fit pipe from a designer that didn't do very well.
Yes.
How are we going to combat the stereotypes that have already been bestowed upon you, as well as...
Well, I'm not going to take full ownership for designs right now. Like I said, I got a couple of years of practice to do where I can practice. But, when you are a beginner designer, you better have a mentor, because you can't do this by yourself. Building buildings takes teams.
What do you look for in a mentor? Because I think it's a really strong statement you made.
Somebody who's available, somebody who will answer questions and spend some time explaining things I don't understand.
Okay.
Not just brush me off when I have questions.
Right.
Somebody who will actually show me physical copies or online. I can look at an online copy too, and explain it and not just say, oh, here's a plan, figure it out.
Take a look. That's huge. I guess early into my career, there was a lot of people who helped but weren't mentors. I think a lot of it's something as I've grown in my career to have a mentor that truly cares about, we win together and wants to pass off the knowledge. It's huge for your career and growth.
Well, it's hard to find a mentor.
For sure.
Because you have to find somebody that you respect, and it has to be somebody who wants to pass on their knowledge.
It almost, or in my experience, it almost naturally happens. Mentors. Like the ones that are forced to, they say, you're going to be training with so-and-so.
Yeah, that's a trainer. That's not a mentor.
That's not a yeah. So finding a mentor is big. So what happens when he comes home, though, in the system that even if you don't have full ownership on, we've got a control valve that's 16 feet in the air, or a check valve.
I'm sure he'll be asking me questions all night long.
You've been married a long time to a fitter, but I just want to make sure that I pass on the information. Like, there's some headbutting between fitters and designers.
Well, the thing is I know when to put down work.
Right.
And if the questions are ongoing and they don't stop, I'll just go shopping or something.
Yeah. Yeah, hey, I won that bid. I'm going to take this one and off we go.
Well, that's the really important thing about this is you really have to have a good balance of work and play. If you own your own company and you start at 6 o'clock in the morning, you don't end till 9 or 10 o'clock at night, you're going to burn out really fast.
Yeah. So let's switch gears from the new designer to even that process of you or y'all thinking through, hey, I need to start my own company, or I want to start my own company. What did that process look like, and what made you go for it?
Well, I was second in command.
Okay.
This was my husband's dream. He always wanted to be a contractor. So he got to a point in his life where he had the funds available and he was ready to do it. And I just encouraged him to take the tests that were necessary to get the license and follow through. And I really wasn't planning on doing anything to help him at all. It's just that along the way, I perceived this need to not be dependent on other people for designing and estimating.
Right.
I mean, I don't feel like I have to be a pro designer that can build a skyscraper. But, if we have a real designer, if we have a designer do a design for us and then we send it through plan check and they send it back with their comments, I'd like to be able to handle those comments without having to send it back to the designer.
Like there's also an expense when we have another designer on hand,
right.
So
right. Everybody wants a piece of that pie.
Oh, for sure. So, what kind of residential houses are you seeing? Is it residential houses? Or are they apartments or
the residential houses?
Houses, one family, two family,
one family houses.
Yeah,
it seems to be what has come across the most.
Yeah,
we'd like to scale up to TIs.
Okay,
but right now it's just been houses that have.
So you're actually in a really good spot because you've started to navigate NFPA 13. Then your one family dwellings are in 13D.
Mm-hmm.
And they're a bit less intensive.
Oh, so the book is thinner?
A lot thinner.
Oh, I like that.
A lot thinner.
But my husband doesn't want to do houses. He wants to do TIs.
Oh, fair enough.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How about we do TIs in houses?
I've been trying to talk him into it because he's been getting houses and, people will pay a lot of money for sprinklers in their houses. I don't see anything wrong with it, but he doesn't want to work with plastic. He wants to work with steel.
Up the price a little bit and just install steel. It still works in 13.
Yeah, but then you don't get the house.
Yeah.
Everybody's looking for the cheapest bid.
Fair enough. So TI, so some head relocates and some office buildings, they put walls in.
Mm-hmm.
Want to be able to go back in and knock those out. But I guess, and there's
I like
a lot
houses better because, I'd rather do a mansion.
Yeah. Than an office building that's
shabby old office building.
And I mean, in California too, every house has to have a sprinkler system.
Right. All the new houses do. In fact, there's a house that we bid on, and that was an interesting story. The guy called up and said he had a 800-foot addition, and so my husband bid on it based on that with some really dingy plans on a phone, and then he went and did a walkthrough, and the addition was 1,700 square feet.
Oh, that's a missing piece of information.
Mm-hmm. And then my husband told them that they were going to have to put sprinklers through the whole entire house because that's California law. And the guy that he was talking to is all, oh, no, I'm a contractor. We're not going to have to do that. But of course, when we put the plans into the city came back with, you have to have sprinklers through the whole house. I'm like, yes, that's more money.
So if you, have there been any stories from your husband that you just like this is the industry you're getting into now?
Well, I think it's a softer, more gentler industry than it ever used to be. We've all heard stories about the mafia running construction in the East, but my husband did tell me one story one time about like in the 90s when he was sprinkler fitting, and I guess the drywallers and the sprinkler fitters went after each other with ball peen hammers, and I don't remember what the drywallers had, but it was inadequate.
It was inadequate?
It was inadequate.
For the fitters.
The ball peen hammers took them out. But you can't do that anymore. No. You can actually really get in trouble for physical actions on the job.
Yeah, the industry's not quite what it was.
Yeah.
I guess depends on your perspective, for the better or worse. Right?
Well, it's definitely for the better. I mean, you shouldn't go to work thinking that you might get hurt.
Did you hear that, Nate? Don't bring your ballpoint hammer, please.
I don't need a hammer.
Oh, fair enough.
You could just get hurt.
So what a message would you have for someone who wants to start or is in their first week of this industry? Some brand new.
Well, I would definitely say that your ability to do math should not stop you. That you can learn the math. It's not that hard to do. And that this is a great industry. The design industry is a great industry for women to get into because women are very quick-witted, and it's not a male or female kind of thing. It's anybody can do design. You just have to have the desire to learn.
That's interesting point, because I get phone calls all the time right before the design school. It's like, I haven't done math in a long time. And there hasn't been someone who's got completely lost in our courses. The math, it's the process, I think, that's the most difficult.
Mm-hmm. And there's calculators.
There are calculators. Calculators help a lot.
Yeah. I mean, when I'm an older person, and when I learned math, we didn't have calculators. I had to do all this stuff by hand.
Yeah.
So, for example, there's one equation we were working on, the Hayes and Williams equation. I'll say it out loud because I have it memorized now. I think it's P equals 4.52 times Q to the 1.85 over C to the 1.85 times D to the 4.87.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's Hayes and Williams for you listeners.
Uh-huh. Well, I wrote it many times when I was substituting into it. And I'm just wondering, how did they get 1.85 as an exponent?
And how is squared not? Like, how does that not work?
I mean, and how would you even do that if you were saying you didn't have a calculator? Yeah. How would you even be able to deal with that equation?
Yeah,
I don't understand how they figured that out.
No, so I guess what I'm hearing is other people did the hard math.
Yes. Yes. We're just basically plugging it in. In fact, you know what? It's so easy that once you do it, there's computer programs. You just stick in the numbers, it pops out the answers for you. You just have to know how to interpret the answers and how to use them correctly.
And then in the standard too, just to read the verbiage. Once you get used to the verbiage, I feel like that's difficult. It gets gray sometimes. Like two people could read the same section.
Oh, the other day I was in class with you, Josh. I think it was on Wednesday, and I sent my husband a text saying, I feel like I'm an English learner and I only understand 4 words out of every 5 he's saying. It was a little tough.
It's a lot going on in that book.
Yeah.
If someone your age asked you about sprinkler design, how would you pitch that to them? Or our industry?
Well, I would say I don't know what I would say to them. It kind of depends on their personality. I mean, if they're, I already said I'm an older person, and at my age, most people are going into retirement.
Right.
Or that's what they're thinking about. And unless they have an engineering background or a construction background, I wouldn't suggest learning design, because you're talking about a new field that's going to take you at least 1 to 2 years to feel some sort of mastery in. And if you're starting to slow down in your life, this is not what you want to do.
Right.
But if you're a person like me where you like to learn new things, then, I'm looking at 10 years of exciting, challenging thinking that I can actually show a product. And I think that's really exciting.
How do you stay so positive when you look at that book and you're at that point, right? Like, nothing says you have to do this for the next 10 years.
No, I could retire.
Yeah.
I've already retired a couple times.
Yeah.
So I didn't have to do this, and I didn't do this just because my husband was going into business. I looked at all the different aspects of having a company. I mean, there's admin, there's putting the stuff in the field, there's running around, there's design, there's estimating. And This just sounded the most interesting that went with the skills that I already had.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty good with a computer.
This is the spot that fits.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I'm good with math.
Yeah.
So math, and I like design. I like to figure things out.
Right.
I like to figure out math problems. So
The challenge.
Yeah, it was good for me because I'm kind of bored with algebra and geometry and the easy math. I'd like to do something hard, but I don't want to do any calculus.
Right. Yeah, no differential equations.
No, this is about the pre-calc level.
Yeah. Is that's what you'd equate it to?
I would equate it to pre-calc. I think engineering might be up there with calculus.
Okay. So I always, I guess, I mean, it's been a while since I've been in a math class, but I've always liked algebra.
Yeah.
And that's what but pre-calc might be a better. I've never really thought about it.
Yeah, because it's challenging, but there's formulas and it's doable.
Right.
It's not like it's linear algebra, where it's so hard you can't even do it. I don't know how people do linear algebra.
No. And that was also, and I worked through one, but as soon as the proofs came in and they were regular,
mm-hmm.
a thought always went in my head is like, who cares? It's like we already have the equation. I don't really care.
Right.
But so is there anything that you would like to tell our listeners or any other topics of conversation?
No, I think that if you want to get into construction, you should do that at any age. I don't think that it's particularly male or female. I think it's very interesting. There's a lot of money possible in it if you are motivated and are willing to work hard. And then you have the satisfaction of building America.
Yeah. And saving people in life, property in the background is kind of nice.
That's what I like about fire sprinklers is we're saving America one sprinkler head at a time.
Well, I really appreciate you being on the podcast and talking and spending some time with you this week in design. I'm looking forward to seeing what you do.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Appreciate that.
Thanks. This has been the K Factor Podcast. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share wherever you tune in to podcasts, or head over to our website for more. Reach out to us anytime at technical@firesprinkler.org. Stay safe and always learn as we keep the fire protection conversation going.